The song that tells a story is a tradition in this part of Africa, Zambia near the border with Malawi. But this is not a song about moons in June or unrequited love. It's about trees and how growing them has brought life back to the soil so the corn will grow again. These women and other farmers in eastern Zambia are learning to overcome a crisis in food production. Continuous cultivation mine nutrients from the soil. Crop yields have declined. Chemical fertilizers would help if anyone could afford them, but few can. The collision between rising population and lower production means that every year there is less food to feed more people. In this part of Zambia, crops fail because there's not enough nitrogen in the soil. Researchers from ICRAF, the International Centre for Research in Agroforestry, with support from the Canadian International Development Agency, looked for a viable solution to the nitrogen shortage that small-scale farmers could afford and use. They found it in fast-growing trees that could serve as natural fertilizers when grown on fallow land. Tree species like Sesbania and Tephrosia can take nitrogen directly from the air and put it into the soil. It takes a year or two for the trees to grow, but then they can be cut and replaced with maize. The results have been spectacular.
Continuous land fertilized maize, you get less than a ton of maize. After 2 years of Sesbania fallow, you get between 3.5 tons to 4 tons. So it does work. So you get a 3-4-fold maize increase.
So now the fertilizer, hii mafaniko kura chaka chichonse ndiko kusiyana kwake kwa maberekedwe palibe kusiyana wake kuti ifertilizer mapasa nditu kuti ifunikira kugura nthawe chaka na chaka mbaye mitengo imatipomu zako kusiyana kulipo ndafika muka kuvuli ukufertilizer itangati yenzo yovuta so yenzo yovuta kuti tikolole koma loma nipo tusenzesha vimiti oti vokolola nditu tukolola nditu vabwino nditu vokondwelesa otolonjala panganda lomba ani yosabelenga utitinga ibelenga tinga vepwa.
Putting trees on fallow land has brought other advantages. Finding, cutting, and transporting firewood for cooking is always a challenge and can take up a large part of the day. Forests suffer, people waste valuable time. The fallow trees put firewood practically on the doorstep.
Nuvutika ngako tingatebe lomba pete ambo shanga vimitengo hivi nuvutika koli nungotola vimitengo ndivu nupikira number 1 Sesbania unitandis.
In the past, agricultural scientists might have been content to do this research, find a solution, and publish the result. But today, institutions like ICRAF, which is part of a worldwide consortium of laboratories working to solve the world's food security problems, have realized that a solution is not much good if farmers don't actually use it. They've devised strategies to spread the knowledge so that many more farmers can take advantage of the natural fertilizer techniques.
It's not like things like hybrid maize where you just give seed and farmer's seed is good. It just spreads like a wildfire. But here we have to technically support farmers and extend work because the discipline is also recently new and it's very complex.
That has meant enlisting non-government organizations who can work on the ground with farmers to demonstrate and teach them how to grow and use the new fallow trees.
In 1994-95, there were very small numbers of farmers, maybe 20 or so. Since then, in the eastern province alone, we are in the areas we are working, we are having more than 5,000 farmers. So yeah, there's the rapid uptake of the technology. So to us, it means solving farmers' problems.
And later on, maybe the researchers also will have some ideas from the farmer. It's a cross-exchange of ideas. Possibly a farmer is becoming a researcher, but giving good information to the research people.
In fact, researchers have found that some of the ideas farmers had were better suited to local conditions. Being part of the research has given them ownership of the technology and a stake in its future. Life has never been easy for subsistence farmers in this part of Africa, and for decades, declining soil fertility has made things worse, not better. Now, by using the new fallow technologies, the future is finally brighter. For the Canadian Farm, I'm David Mowbray, Chipata, Zambia.